Hi, it's Dorleen. I thought I would pop on and talk about adhesives. Now, I don't know about you, but I use a lot of different types of adhesives. Now, it just depends on the project that I'm working on. I do mostly paper crafts, but that doesn't necessarily mean scrapbooking and card making. It also means like party decor, things like that. So I use sometimes in the same project, like multiple adhesives. It just depends on what I'm doing. And this is all kind of a personal thing. So, personal opinions and personal reasons why I use different things. So, like I mentioned, I'm a paper crafter. So, majority of things that I work on are scrapbooks. So, what I like to do when I work on a scrapbook is, when you have like, first of all, you have your 12 by 12 base, of course, and then all the papers that I put on, or if I'm putting on papers, I like to use my big ATG gun. Now, this is a product that I highly recommend. The Advanced Tape Glider is the ATG, what it stands for. Now, the gun itself, if you want to call it that, and my daughter uses this one, which is the same type of thing. It's double-sided tape, basically, and they come in rolls, and they can be a little pricey, but the nice thing is the glider, the gun, whatever you want to call it, is, you buy refills to go with it. So you buy it once and that's kind of a one-time thing. And then of course you buy the refills. Now, luckily for me, I have fellow crafter, fellow scrapbooker, and Nancy, that's a shout out to you. That is someone who is very generous. And when she's out and about and she sees something that is an incredible deal, she will buy not only one for herself, but she'll pick up a few more. And then she'll come and we'll sit through one of our crafting sessions and she'll say, hey, I found these gliders for, $10 and the refills are only two. Does anybody want one? Well, I jumped all over that. So I use that glider when I do my bigger portions. Now, again, this is just me. I'm probably crazy. But when I'm doing like my photos or when I'm adhering like my title blocks or journaling blocks, things like that, I use my little Tombow, again, handheld tape glider. Now, I am going to be honest with you. And again, this is not I'm bashing on people, but this is just my personal opinion. These have become one of the things that have been making me really mad lately. So we all know we need adhesive and it can be pricey. But the thing that makes me so upset is I've been having the hardest time with these. So, you're putting it down, you're trying to get this adhesive onto your paper or whatever it is that you're putting it on. And the little portions in here kind of get, I don't even know the right word, jacked up, for lack of a better word. And then you have to re-roll it and you have to do all these things. And so a lot of that is adhesive that is wasted. And it makes me nuts because you're paying for it and it's a lot of money. And so I've been a little like, don't like these. So I have really been using more liquid adhesive than I ever have. And I use Tombow um, glue, or adhesive, I should say. Now, this is a glue that is made for paper crafting, and it's wet adhesive, so of course if you put too much it's going to have a little warpage, but I don't find much with this product, which is really nice because first of all it does give you a little wiggle room. So if you're working on something and you're like, ooh, and you got to wiggle a little bit, it's perfect for that. But it also dries pretty quickly, so you don't get all that like warping or overnight where you got to put it between a heavy book or something like that, because it is made for paper crafting. So I have been using the Nuvo for my scrapbooking. Now, I've also been using another liquid adhesive, which has been really popular these last year or so, and it's the green lid Tombow adhesive. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have some because I bought some, but this is not my favorite. This is not my favorite. And the reason why is, and I'm surprised it's never come up, but so you put it on, and again, it's made for paper, so you don't get that warpage, and you get great coverage. You get the wiggle room. You get all those good advantage kind of things. The glue is amazing, but when it dries, if let's say you get a little seepage, or you actually get a little portion of it like somewhere else or on your hands, it's got this sticky residue. So you've got to make sure you clean that up because otherwise you got sticky mess. And if you get it on your hands, again, for a lack of a better word, you get these like glue boogers and it is not fun. So I'm surprised that it's so popular because I will tell you, I have used the blue one that's also from Tombow, and this is clear. Now this is white, but it dries clear. Now this is just clear from the get-go, and it also dries. This doesn't have all that residue stuff. So this to me, if you're gonna get something like this, and it has like the Doppler kind of, um, application on the bottom, and then the fine tip on the top. This one, in my opinion, is so much better than this one. Now, there is some advantages to having some sticky residue with this one. So let's say you're somebody who has some foil, because that, if it once it dries, you still get that stickiness. And because I do have some old foil from a long time ago, I got it gifted from somebody, and so it's dried, and then you put that foil on top and it will pick it up. So that's definitely an advantage. You could probably do the same thing with glitter or any kind of like embossing type stuff. I mean, I bought some, it's not embossing, but it's like a fuzz. So you can put like a little bit of fuzz, like on let's say if I had yellow, it'd be on a yellow duck or something like that. So that is a good reason to buy the green one, because you want that sticky residue. But honestly, for like everything else, I'm like, ooh, I'm using it because I bought it, and the glue's fine. Like I said, I don't want to bash on them. I bought it, I'm using it. I don't hate it that much, but I don't think I'll buy it again unless it's like super cheap or something like that. Like you got to convince me to buy more of that. So anyhow, personal opinion, like I said, not trying to bash on anything. So those are my favorite. Now I have recently bought, yes, people, I bought the Precision Glue Press. Now, I was on the fence about it because, in my opinion, I thought it was a little expensive. Now, you do get, well, one bottle of glue, so the glue is included, and this has a fine tip. You also get a second bottle. Sorry about that. And it's empty, and it's a fine tip, but it's a little bit less fine. If that makes sense. This one's really fine. This one's just a little fine. And so you can refill it with whatever glue you have. Now I still have this one, so I'll refill it with my Nuvo. But you it's got the stand and everything. It's everything that, if you've looked into it, I am going to tell you, I honestly think it's worth it. It's really good on your hands. You squeeze it instead of squeezing the bottle. Sometimes you just, okay, you keep kind of shaking it to get the air out, things like that. You don't need to do that with this. It's very easy on your hands. Now I have a little bit of a jacked up finger. Sorry, you probably see that. And my hand does get tired, and this is really nice for that. And it's fine tip, which is great. Now you can use, like I said, you get the glue, you can use this glue, and once you're done, you can refill it with whatever you want. So I mentioned I have that bottle of Nuvo, but I also have the Barely Art precision craft glue. Now this is also a very good glue, and the nice thing is when you buy it, this small piece, sorry, this is on here, you also get well, you get this little lid so you can keep your things closed, but you get all these other little tips, and it even has like a little stainless steel well, like a pin, so that if it clogs up, you can clog it up. So that's really nice. And when you buy the refill, which is what I did, and I hate to admit this, but this is what caught my eye. The refill bottle are the little honey bears, like, back in the day when we used to buy honey and they were in those little honey bears. Yes, that's what the glue was in. That is the reason why I bought it. But I will tell you, it's a really good glue. Now, I like to use liquid adhesive, especially for like really small pieces that you just need a little bit, especially fine pieces, or like my 3D projects, like my cake toppers. I did some like the three-dimensional letters, numbers, even like a little baseball cap. So it's really nice to use a liquid adhesive because you want a little bit of wiggle room, but you also want something to dry sort of quickly. And that's going to give you really good, strong hold. And so any kind of paper or something or project that people are going to be opening a lot, or if they're like movable pieces within your card or things like that, that would be a really good time to use a liquid adhesive, because you do get that strength And again, the wiggle room is what's really important. So I also have, like I said, I probably have every adhesive made, or at least a type of it. There's the roll tape, tear tape, which are great. Again, really strong adhesive and perfect for those kind of projects where somebody's going to be kind of tagging and doing this and that. So this will hold it in place. Like gift card holders, things like that, where you know that you really need some strong adhesive. But I don't use the tape much in my scrapbooking, only because I'm kind of lazy, so I don't want to tear and then put it all down. But it's great. It's great tape. So, oh, another reason why, or another time when I use the tape, first of all, this is just one width. They come in thicker ones and thinner and this and that. The time I use this type of tape is, so let's say I'm watercoloring on a piece of cardstock or a piece of paper, watercolor paper, whatever, and it gets a little warped because there's water. So when I want to adhere it to, like, let's say a card base or something, I'll put this, or I'll use a double-sided tape on the back of that warped, if you want to call it that, piece of paper, and then I kind of use my bone folder and really try to burnish it down, kind of smooth it as much as I can. And then when I put it on the cardstock, I do the same thing. I remove the tape, and then I kind of go from the top down or bottom up, whichever. And as I'm doing it, you smooth it down, and this gives it extra adhesion. And I think that really works well with that type of thing. Also, a great way to use those tapes, if I kind of mentioned with the glue Tombow, kind of something similar. So let's say you want like a line of glitter on whatever your project is, you can put that tape, because it's double-sided, adhere it onto your paper, and then remove the top, and then you can sprinkle your glitter or whatever it is, that feathers, things like that, and then push it down a little bit, and it will adhere, so you got that strip of something shiny, which is always kind of cool. Same with the foam, not foam, foil, or metallic, things like that. That's just a little extra special. So there's a use for all these different adhesives. So I think it's important, to use what you need. So again, lots of adhesive, um, lots of different phone tapes, different shapes. These are circles. These are the little hexagons, and they come in. This is a mini one. They also come in a little bit bigger. Phone tape also comes with black now, so when you're doing a dark project with dark papers, it's not going to show as much as something like this that has white. I use these foam strips a lot for when I do shaker cards or anything that you need, a line. They also come in tapes, tape rolls in different widths, foam adhesive. I'm not a big dimension or thickness person in my scrapbooks, but I do on my cards, and especially like my cake toppers love dimension. So I will stack all of these foam adhesives on top of each other. So it's nice to have the different widths, so you can, put them as needed. There's glue dots, which have their own purpose. Mostly with these, I'll use it if I'm adhering like a ribbon, not a ribbon, but like a bow, or like a gemstone or something that doesn't have the adhesive already on it, or I peeled it off by accident. That's me. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about, this is fairly new to me, is I just bought these sticky specs at the expo this last March, and so they're 8.5 by 11, or approximately 8.5 by 11-inch sheets, and inside there are these very, very micro or specks, and so this is perfect for very detailed or skinny pieces of paper. So I sat through a make and take, and the instructor had a full sheet. She cut it into four, so you can tell here I cut it in half, but then I would cut it into fours, and then she has it just on her desk, which is what I've been doing. And yellow is what has, excuse me, the yellow is what has the adhesive. So you open it up, like I mentioned, I hope you could see that, and then you would place your item on there, close it, rub it, rub it, rub it, so you item, so the top is facing the carrier sheet, which is the white. The bottom, which you want the adhesive or the specs on, is the yellow. That's, so you want there. So once you're done with that, you open it up, and then you peel that piece off, and it's going to have all these tiny, tiny, tiny specks on the back of your item. Now, if you watch my channel, when I do use it, I do show you. But I hope how I explained it kind of can give you a visual, but it's really, really great buy. As soon as I used it, I thought this is perfect because those, I'm talking like um, very fine butterflies or leaves or stems, that are so thin you can't even get a thin piece of glue, liquid glue on it. But you need adhesive in the back, so that's perfect for something like that. But anyhow, I'm rambling as usual, and but I do appreciate you watching, and if you appreciate what I've been saying or like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. Leave me a comment because maybe there's some kind of adhesive that I haven't talked about. Believe me, I have others. I mean, I have lots of different variety of the foam tapes. Oh, I know, glue sticks. We talked about glue sticks. I don't use glue sticks a lot in my scrapbooking because I don't know, there's nothing wrong with it. That's just me personally. But I use glue sticks a lot in my art journals. I just feel like, there's a product and a place for every, project. But I use my glue stick a lot. Same with like Mod Podge. But again, that's like a decoupaging thing that in my junk journal. Those type of things. But I will tell you, I have been buying the repositionable glue stick for, so, yeah, you figure I would have had all the stuff on my desk ready for you, but I'm not very prepared. So a lot of the stamps that I've been buying are, they're no longer on wooden blocks or majority. I mean, I know there still are, but majority aren't. So you get the stamp on red rubber, and on the back side is usually like the image of whatever it is the stamp is or something. Well, so you put it on an acrylic block, and sometimes when I, move it, they fall off. Like they're losing that stickiness. So I'll use repositionable glue stick on the back of those stamps before I put it on the acrylic block, and then it stays on. I also use this on my Misty. Now, not on the part that's being moved, but on the base part, I'll put a little bit on the paper just so it sticks to my paper pad. And so when I'm going like this, that paper is staying still. So repositionable glue stick is a good buy and good to have, not only just for that, but also if you're just unsure of placement of things, just put a little bit on the back, and you're able to move things around. So that's always a nice thing, especially if you're somebody who um, can't really make a decision really quick. And then you can see where it is, right? You can see where you want it and make that decision more easily. So anyhow, that's about it. Again, I want to say thank you for listening and watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. Definitely leave me a comment if you have any comments or in disagreement, agreement, or maybe you have something else that's completely different than what I've been talking about. I'd love to hear it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below if you're not already a subscriber. I'd really appreciate it. And I do post at least 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking because that is my first love and the reason why I wanted to do a YouTube channel. But then I realized I've got kind of a creative life. I am constantly making things, and it's a little bit of everything. Now, I am definitely not a professional on any of these things, but I have a lot of fun, and I love to share what I do know, and I love to just share my projects. So, that's about it. So thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Bye.